spoken by Ishvara Puri. He spoke this to his transcendental disciple.
И той казал този стих на неговите трансцендентални ученици.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So, Krishna Nama Mahamantrera Eta Svabhav Ye Jape Tvara Krishna Upajaye Bhav. So, in this verse, Krishna Nama means the holy name of Krishna.
В този текст Кришна Нама означава святото име на Кришна.
Mahamantrera means, of course, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Mahamantrera означава Hare Krishna Mahamantра.
And Svabhava means nature.
Свабхава означава природа.
Yay means anyone.
Yay означава всеки.
Jape means chants.
Джапа означава натръгване.
Then Tara, his.
Тара негов.
Krishna unto Krishna.
Кришна на Кришна.
Upajaye develops.
Упаджая развива.
Bhava means ecstasy.
Бхава означава екстаз.
So the verse means it is the nature of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that anyone who chants it immediately develops his loving ecstasy for Krishna.
Превода е, който мантрува Харе Кришна Махамантра, веднага развива любов към Кришна.
So, in his purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes a verse from Bhagavad Gita.
В пояснението има цитата от Бхагавад Гита.
This is from the 10th chapter, verse number 8. And Krishna says that he is the source of all spiritual and material worlds.
Където Кришна казва, че е източник на всички духовни и материални светове.
Everything emanates from me.
Всичко идва от него.
And then, iti madva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samamvita. It means that those who actually know this, then they serve him with great bhava. Bhava means in transcendental ecstasy.
И този, който знае това, му служи с голяма трансцендентална любов.
So, this verse from Bhagavad Gita is describing very advanced transcendentalists because the word Buddha is used.
Този текст обяснява много напреднала трансценденталност, понеже се ползва думата Буда.
So, according to Krishna, only the great transcendentalists know his actual nature.
Според Кришна само най-напредналите трансценденталисти познават неговата природа.
And only they, in that knowledge, can worship him in transcendental ecstasy.
И само те могат да го обожават в трансцендентален екстаз.
But Ishvara Puri is saying that anyone who chants the Hare Krishna mantra, and he specifically uses the word yay, anyone who chants the Hare Krishna mantra can come to the same platform as these great transcendentalists who are described by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita.
Ishvara Puri каза, че всеки, който мантрува Харе Кришна Махамантра, използвам думата всеки, може да стигне до това ниво.
So Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he specifically says that a neophyte disciple begins by hearing and chanting.
В пояснението се казва, че начинаещият започва слушане и мантруване.
And associating with devotees.
И общуване с преданно отдадените.
And practicing the regulative principles.
И практикуване на регулиращи принципи.
And in this way, he conquers his unwanted bad habits.
И по този начин побеждава нежеланите навици.
And he develops attachment for Krishna.
И развива привързаност към Кришна.
And cannot forget Krishna even for a moment.
И не може да забрави Кришна дори за момент.
So that stage where one can't forget Krishna is called bhava.
Този момент, в който не може да се забрави Кришна, се нарича бхава.
That bhava in Sanskrit means transcendental ecstasy.
Бхава означава трансцендентален екстаз.
So, that state of bhava bhakti, is available to everyone who will take up the chanting of Krishna's holy name.
И всеки може да стигне този етап, ако мантра Харе Кришна Махамантра.
So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Ishvara Puri as his spiritual master,
Бог Чайтания приема Ишвара Пури като духовен учител.
and he received from him the Hare Krishna Mahamantra by the process of Vaishnava initiation.
И приема Махамантра Харе Кришна чрез посвещение.
And immediately, as the Lord began to chant, then he displayed the most wonderful symptoms of Mahabhava.
И веднага щом започна да мантрува, в него се проявяват принципите на Махабхава.
So we were speaking of Bhava, but Lord Chaitanya, he exhibits Mahabhava.
Ние говорим за Бхава, но Бог Чайтания е проявил Махабхава.
Because he is, in his original identity, Radha and Krishna mixed together.
Понеже в своята изначална същност той е Рада и Кришна заедно.
So the ecstasy that was awakened in him is the supreme ecstasy.
И екстаза, който се пробудил, е върховният екстаз.
The ecstasy of the love that is shared between Radha and Krishna.
Екстаза, който се споделя между Рада и Кришна.
But it's interesting to see that even though that is Lord Chaitanya's, he is God, so that is his identity, but still he followed the same process, accepting initiation into the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra from bona fide spiritual master.
Интересното е, че дори Бог Чайтания да е Бог, той също приема самия процес, тръгът на духовен учител.
So he took the position of a neophyte, just to show us the process.
Той приема позицията на неофит, за да ни покаже пътя.
Before he took shelter at the lotus feet of his spiritual master, then his pastime was to act as if he was a puffed up scholar.
Преди да приеме посвещение, той бил като надут учен.
And he even used to make fun of the Vaishnavas in Navadvipa.
Той дори се шегувал с вайшнавите в Навадвипа.
When he was very small, then his good friend was Gadadhar, who is in the Panchatattva.
Когато бил малък, негов приятел бил Гададхар от Панчататва.
But when he grew up and got in his teen years, then he was exhibiting this pastime of being a very argumentative, puffed up intellectual.
Когато пораснал, той приел ролята на вечно спорещ учен, интелектуален.
And at that time, Gadadhar didn't like to associate with him anymore.
И по това време Гададхар не искал да общува с него повече.
Because Gadadhar was always a soft-hearted devotee.
Понеже Гададхар е винаги бил леко сърдечен.
And Lord Chaitanya used to notice this.
И Бог Чайтания казва винаги това.
When he would come to where Gadadhar Pandit would be with some other friends, and Gadadhar would excuse himself and start to go away. And Lord Chaitanya would call after him, you just wait. One day I will become such a great Vaishnava that all the Vaishnavas here will always want my association.
И тогава Бог Чайтания ми казва, просто чакай, един ден аз ще стана много велик Вайшнава и всички ще искат моето общуване.
Of course, at that time, the Vaishnavas thought, this is more puffed up talk.
Разбира се, по това време другите си мислят, това също е едно от неговите години приказки.
He's so proud of his cleverness.
Той е толкова горд с неговата ученост.
But it actually came true. After he took shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Ishvara Puri at Gaya, the holy city.
След като е приел убежище при Шварапури в Гая.
So then he began to chant Hare Krishna mantra, and all these incredible symptoms of Mahabhava appeared in his person.
Тогава той започна да мантрува Харе Кришна Махамантра и всички симптоми се проявили в него.
And he thought that I must be going mad.
И той си помислил, аз значи полудявам.
And so he went to his spiritual master and bowed down to his lotus feet.
И отишъл при духовния си учител, падна в лотосните му крака.
And he asked him, what kind of mantra did you give me?
И попитал, каква мантра ми даде?
Because when I chanted, then I am becoming overwhelmed by some kind of madness like I have never experienced before.
Когато мантрувам, аз изпадам в някоя лудост, която никога преди не съм изпитвал.
I am laughing and crying at the same time.
Аз плача и се смея по едно също време.
And dancing in ecstasy.
И танцувам в екстаз.
What does this mean?
Какво означава това?
So in reply, Ishwar Puri he spoke this verse which is quoted here in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
И като отговор е даден този текст, който е хъчен.
That Krishna Nama Mahamantrera Eta Svabhava. So he's telling him, Svabhava means nature, so he's explaining to Lord Chaitanya the nature of the holy name.
В който се обяснява природата на святото име.
So, Ye Jape, whoever will chant it, then Tare Krishna Upajaya Bhava. This will awaken his ecstasy of Krishna consciousness.
Че който да мантрува, от него ще се прояви екстаза на Кришна съзнание.
So, Ishwara Puri was very satisfied to see this transformation in his disciple.
Ishwara Puri бил много доволен да види тази трансформация в неговия ученик.
So this shows the Vaishnava is not envious.
Това означава, че вайшнавите не се виждат.
The spiritual master likes to see his disciple become even more advanced than he.
Духовният учител обича да вижда, че неговият ученик напредва даже повече.
And Ishwara Puri told him to continue. I'm reading. You please continue chanting, dancing, and performing Sankirtan.
Ishwara Puri продължил с управлението мантрувай и свършил Санкиртана.
Go out and preach the value of chanting Hare Krishna.
Върви, разпространявай важността на Харе Кришна.
For in this way you will deliver all fallen souls.
По този начин ще освободиш всички паднали души.
So this was the order of the spiritual master.
И този текст е наставлението на духовния учител.
And so Lord Chaitanya, he took that order as his life and soul.
И Бог Чайтания взел тази инструкция като живот.
And he went from Gaya back to Navadvip.
И той отишъл от Гая в Навадвип.
And everyone, all the residents of Navadvip were astonished to see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was now a different person.
И всички от Навадвип били удивени как Бог Чайтания сега е различна личност.
That he was always speaking the name Krishna.
Той винаги повтаря името Кришна.
Speaking, singing, shouting, like a madman.
Викал, крещял, говорил като луд човек.
And from his eyes, tears were always falling.
И от неговите очи винаги сълзи се течели.
It is said that Mother Sachi was always having to bring him dry clothes because he would make his clothes as wet as they get when you go in the rain from his tears.
Казва се, че от сълзите му неговите дрехи ставали толкова мокри, както от дъжд и майка Сачи винаги трябва да му носи нови суви дрехи.
And he always wanted to have the company of the Vaishnavas who previously used to avoid him.
И винаги искал компанията на вайшнавите, които преди са го обявали.
And he would present himself to them as the most humble devotee, humbly seeking their mercy and blessing.
И той винаги се представя като смирен вайшнава, който иска истинните благословения.
And as you know, then he ordered the devotees to perform Sankirtan throughout all of Navadvip Dham.
И тогава той помоля да се извършва Санкиртан в цялата Навадвип.
And this, of course, then that angered the Smarta Brahmins, and it also alarmed the Muslim government.
И всичко това много ядосало Смарта браманите и мюсюлманските пратници.
And that the Qazi, the Muslim governor, tried to suppress Harinam Sankirtan.
И този управител Кази се опитал да спре Санкиртан движението.
But it could not be suppressed.
Не е могло да бъде спряно.
Actually, the Qazi, his men were coming back in great fear from trying to stop the Sankirtan. They were saying, we're trying to stop, but then flames would come out of the air and hit our face and drive us away.
Хората, които бил изпратил, са били връщали оплашени, понеже пламъци били изкачали.
And Chand Kazi himself had a dream in which Lord Nrsingadev appeared on his chest and was putting his nail there and saying, if you do anything, then I will kill you like I killed Hiranyakashipu.
И самия Чанд Кази имал сън, в който Бог Нрсимхадев се проявил и с ногтите на гърдите му и му казал, ако спреш движението, ще убие както убих Hiranyakashipu.
So see, Chand Kazi revealed to Lord Chaitanya when they had that talk one night.
И това Чанд Кази каза на Бог Чайтаня, когато са имали разговор една вечер.
That's when all the devotees surrounded the house of Chand Kazi and were having roaring kirtan, and he was afraid.
Когато всички бяхте били обиколили къща Чанд Кази, имали страхотен киртан.
So Lord Chaitanya came to speak with him.
И Бог Чайтаня дошъл да говори с него.
Then Chand Kazi told these things.
Чанд Кази му каза тези неща.
And Lord Chaitanya, being satisfied with Chand Kazi, embraced him, and Chand Kazi himself experienced the bhava, the ecstasy of love of Krishna.
Бог Чайтаня, бивайки удовлетворен от Каза да прегърна, и самия Каза изпитал тази любов.
So, this is, you see, we have this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with the nature described here, which brings out the ecstasy of love of Krishna in anyone who chants.
И така ние имаме тази Харе Кришна Маха Мантра, която може да пробуди любовта към Бога за този, който мантрува.
And we have the unlimited mercy of Lord Chaitanya,
И от друга страна имаме безкрайната милост на Бог Чайтаня,
who will deliver even the most fallen mlecha meat eaters like Chand Kazi,
който може да освободи най-падналите млечи като Чанд Кази,
who will give them love of God,
давайки ми Бог на Бога.
which, as we read earlier, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying that this bhava formerly was reserved only for those who are Buddha, those who are enlightened transcendentalists.
Както прочетахме преди, това е било достъпно само за Буда, тези напредни трансценденталисти.
But now by the Sankirtan movement propagated by Lord Chaitanya, this bhava is freely distributed to anyone and everyone.
Но сега по милостта на Бог Чайтаня, тази бхава се разпространява навсякъде и на всеки го.
But there are some persons who are able to escape.
Но все пак има личности, които успяват да избягат.
And who are those persons?
И кои са тези личности?
Well, there is a nice play that was written by a great devotee named Kavi Karnapur.
Има много хубава песен, написана от един презнодаден.
And he describes how the personality of Kali and his good friend adharma personified, or irreligion personified. We're once having a conversation.
В която се описва как персонификацията на Кали и адхарма имали веднъж разговор.
And the personality of Kali was pointing out to adharma the power of Lord Chaitanya's movement.
В който персонификацията на Кали показва на адхарма силата на Бог Чайтания.
And Kali was saying that all my work that I've been doing so far in this Kali Yuga, he has smashed it all.
И той казва, че всичко, което направи в тази Кали Юга, Бог Чайтания го смазва.
So adharma, he was trying to encourage Kali. No, don't be so. Don't speak in this way as if you are defeated.
Адхарма се опитал да го окоръжи, не да говориш по такъв начин, че сме пълно победени.
There must be some hope for us.
Трябва да има някаква надежда за нас.
The personality of Kali was saying, what is that hope? He is spreading the Sankirtan movement throughout the whole world.
И Кали казва, каква надежда има за нас, това разпространя Санкиртан из целия свят.
And Adharma was saying, but you are so powerful.
Адхарма му казва, ти си толкова могъщ.
You can corrupt the hearts of these people.
Може да промениш сърцата на тези хора.
Then finally, the personality of then the personality of Kali, he was so negative. He's saying, no, there's no hope. We are finished.
Кали винаги бил много негативен, ние сме победени.
So then Adharma, then he became very unhappy.
Адхарма стана много нещастен.
And he said, then where will I go?
И казва, тогава къде да отида?
If you are saying that you are finished, then where will I be? Because I can only be where you have done your work.
Ти казваш, че ти си свършен. Тогава къде да отида аз, понеже аз мога да работя само където си ти.
You see, adharma means irreligion.
Адхарма означава нерелигиозност.
So irreligion can flourish where people are first made sinful by the personality of Kali.
Нерелигиозността съществува, където хората извършват грехове благодарение на Кали.
First, Kali has to destroy the religious principles.
Първо Кали трябва да разстрои религиозните принципи.
Then adharma can come as the irreligious principle.
Тогава идва адхарма като нерелигиозните принципи.
So adharma was very unhappy. If you say you are defeated, then where will I go?
Тогава адхарма бил много нещастен. Ако ти си победен, тогава какво ще правя аз?
So then finally, Kali began to speak in an optimistic way.
Тогава най-накрая Кали започна да говори по-оптимистично.
And he said, don't worry, there will still be some place for you.
Не се притеснявай, все още ще има някакво място за тебе.
And he said, among those people who blaspheme Lord Chaitanya's devotees, the holy name.
Твоето място ще е сред тези хора, които богохулстват Бог Чайтания, святото име.
So, this is actually a very important thing to understand.
И това е много важно да го разберем.
This goes into the nature of the jiva.
Това отива в природата на джива.
The jiva has always a power of choice.
Джива винаги има правото да избира.
And it seems that there will always be some jivas, even when the Lord comes giving such mercy so freely, so easily, there is always going to be some jivas who will say no.
И поради тази природа на избор, винаги ще има дживи, които дори като дойде Бог Чайтания разпространява свободно, те винаги няма да избират това.
So, the personality of Kali had already admitted, I am defeated.
Кали е казал, аз вече съм победен.
So it's when we look for an answer to why some people don't take to Krishna consciousness.
И когато отворим въпроса, защо някакви хора не приемат Кришна съзнание?
Or why for some time they may appear to take it, and then they give it up.
Или защо за известно време те го приемат, след това го доставят.
And become envious of the devotees.
И завиждат на бхактите.
And think of themselves, maybe they still think of themselves as devotees, but they're very critical of ISKCON.
Може би те мислят себе си за предано отдадени, но са против ISKCON.
And then due to that criticism, that blasphemy, we can see that their so-called devotional service is actually offensive.
И поради това критикуване, тяхното така наречено преданно служение е оскърбително.
And it becomes adharma.
И става адарма.
So, when we see this, we think, why is this happening?
Когато виждаме това, ние се питаме, защо става така?
And we might say, oh, this is due to the influence of the personality of Kali.
И можем да се отговорим, това е поради присъствието на Кали.
But actually that is not the answer, at least not in the beginning.
Но това не е отговор, или поне в началото това не е отговор.
In the beginning, the answer is simply that is their choice.
В началото отговор е, това е техният избор.
Because Kali was defeated.
Защото Кали вече...
He was driven away. Adharma was driven away.
Адарма и Кали, тя са махнати вече.
But then by their own choice, some living entities will insist to have a different opinion.
Но поради своята собствена воля, някой избира това.
They cannot give it up.
Те не могат да го оставят.
So, this is actually, you see here, the answer to that old question, why the living entity fell down from the spiritual world. You can see it right here.
И така ние намираме отговор на този стар въпрос, защо падат живите от духовния свят.
And Lord Chaitanya has brought the spiritual world here.
Бог Чайтания е свалил духовния свят тук.
And he spreads it out to include everyone.
И той го разпространява да включи всички.
Golokera Premanama Harinam Sankirtan. Harinam Sankirtan movement is an export from Goloka Vrindavan.
Sankirtan е внесен тук, в Голока Вриндаван.
So, Lord Chaitanya covers the world with the holy name, but then by their own choice, some say, no, I will not accept it, or even worse, they appear to accept it, but then they still insist on their own different opinion.
И така Бог Чайтания дава тази милост, но някакви хора поради своя избор не приемат или показват, че приемат, но всъщност.
So once they've done that, then they give a place again to Kali and Adharma.
И действайки по този начин, те отново дават място на Кали и Адарма.
So this is very important to understand.
Това е много важно да се разбере.
We have heard what is the nature of the holy name.
Ние чухме каква е природа на святото име.
We have heard what is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya.
Ние чухме каква е милостта на Бог Чайтания.
But we can see that still, due to the, as Prabhupada would say, minute or tiny independence of the living entity, there will still be those who will not accept.
Но поради тази малка независимост ще има хора, които няма да приемат.
And then Srila Prabhupada said, they are unfortunate.
И Прабхупад казва, те са нещастните.
But we should understand what this unfortunate means.
Трябва да разберем какво означава са нещастни.
That they have created their own misfortune.
Че те сами създават това свое нещастие.
You see, it's not that they are unfortunate because of something written on their forehead.
Това тяхно нещастие не е поради това, че нещо е написано в началото.
Do you have that in Bulgarian? Yes. It's also in India. The same thing. What is written on your forehead, you cannot escape.
Това го има и в България, в Индия, това, което ти е писано, не може да избягаш.
But it is not like that.
Но това не е така.
It is not that there's some big finger pointing at them from the sky. You are unfortunate.
Не е така, че голям пръст от небето ти казва, ти си нещастен.
They make their own misfortune
Всеки си прави своето нещастие.
by exercising their choice in a way which is different from the plan of the Lord.
Като правят своя избор по план, който не е според на Бога.
And so, therefore, they give up still then personality of Kali and adharma. They have a place to do their work among these kind of people.
И поради тази причина Адхарма и Кали имат място на работа.
Then we may ask, well, why? Why are things like that?
Може да питаме защо мислим така?
Then one way to understand this is that this gives those who do accept the plan of the Lord, this gives them a strong motivation to go back home, back to God.
Един отговор е, че тези, които приемат милостта на Бог чрез тайна, дават им кораж да се върнат къщи когато при Бога.
To get out of this crazy material world.
Да се измъкнат от този глуп материален свят.
Actually, this material world is the place that Krishna has given for those kind of people.
Всъщност този материален свят е даден за такъв вид хора.
And that's why it's here. And therefore those kind of people, they're always usually in the majority.
И затова обикновено има такива хора тук.
Prabhupada says this is a place of asurika bhava. Again, this word bhava, mood, but it is the place for the mood of the asuras. They can have their ecstasy here. And the spiritual world is a place for the ecstasy of the Lord and His devotees. Oh, but of course, the Lord's mission is brought to this place too, because the original nature of the living entity is to be a loving servant of Krishna.
Но тази мисия на Бога е дадена и тук, понеже природата на живо същество е да е слуга на Кришна.
And there are always living entities here who become tired of this asurika bhava and want to get out.
Винаги има живи същества, които се уморяват от тази асурика бхава и искат да се измъкнат.
So when the Lord brings His mission to this world, they have their chance.
И така Бога донася тази милост и те имат този шанс.
But there are always others who want to stay here.
Но винаги има хора, които искат да останат тук.
And so this material world remains.
И така този материален свят остава.
So we should want to get out.
Ние трябва да искаме да се измъкнем.
Now we have the chance and the way is open.
Ние имаме шанс и път е отворен.
And we should understand this truth that problems, misfortune, we create ourselves by our misuse of choice.
Ние трябва да разберем тази истина, че проблемите ние сами си ги създаваме поради нашия избор.
So we should be very careful not to indulge in the false ego.
Трябва да сме много внимателни да не пробуждаме фалшивото его.
False ego means the wrong use of the choice of the living entity.
Фалшивото его означава погрешен избор на живото същество.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Any question? Yes.
Guru Maharaj, I wanted to ask, it is obvious as you explained that it is just choice of living entity to turn against Krishna, against ISKCON, and we see many demoniac atheistic persons who immediately, if they see something connected to Krishna, they immediately reject. But what is the reason that some persons who in the beginning seem to be very much attracted and inspired by idea of glorifying Krishna, worshipping him, living with devotees, serving with devotees. They seem to be very humble and like that. And for many years they are in this mood that they, not that they just bloop, but that they really, as you said, turn against ISKCON and are antagonistic, demoniac. What is the reason?
Каква е причината, въпреки че някои преданни в началото много вдъхновени и са с ISKCON, след това да се обърнат и да бъдат срещу ISKCON и да станат така? Каква е причината за това?
Well, we might say that they are special demons.
Можем да кажем, че те са специални същества.
Some of them may even be liberated.
Някои от тях могат дори да бъдат освободени.
Like Narada Muni says about Shishupal and Dantavakra. He says that although they were blasphemers of the Lord, they were demons, but they had a unique relationship with the Lord. So although they were demons, they were liberated souls.
Както Нарада Муни казва Шишупала Дантавакра, че дори те да са критикували Бога, те са имали специална връзка с него и са били освободени.
Of course, they were Jai and Vijay originally, who were cursed by the four Kumaras.
Разбира се, те са били Джай и Виджая, те са били проклети от кумарите.
But there may be others like that who they're like difficult children, you know.
Но може да има и други, както трудни деца.
You see, even in Mahabharata, you'll find like Karna. When you read about Karna, he was a very, very special person. He wasn't just, you cannot just say he was just some demon. But he was also dear to Krishna. And Krishna even spoke to him before the war, you come and join your brothers. And Karna told Krishna, I can't do this now because Duryodhana has shown me so much affection and I feel some debt to him. But then Karna said, but I know what will happen. I know we're all going to be killed. I know that Arjuna, Yudhisthira, they will win. So, and he was saying this, that I know that this is your plan, Krishna, so I am just playing my role in your plan. So, some persons who appear to be opposed to the Lord and His devotees, there is a deeper truth about them.
Както виждаме в Махабарата, Карна, преди войната, Кришна дошъл при него и казал, ела, присъедини се към братята си, но Карна казал, аз знам, че всичко е твой план и той е бил много специална личност.
That they have a role in the Lord's pastimes to bring out more the devotion. Just like Karna, he was there to cause Arjuna and Yudhisthira to be even more fixed in their service to Krishna.
Те имат такива личности, имат специална роля, както Карна, неговата роля е да даде повече преданост на Арджуна и Юдхиштира.
So I think that this is also sometimes what happens in ISKCON too. Some people, as you say, they're devotees, but then they're opposing this movement. And we wonder why. They're devotees, actually. So it seems that Krishna has selected them to help us be more attached to Him, to help us throw off our impurities. Because it's a kind of a fight, you know. When there's a fight, then you have to be more dedicated and determined.
Също както от изкон, както ти казва, някои са предано отдадени, след това те се обявяват. Това ни помага на нас да бъдем по-силни в борбата.
At least I think in some cases it's like that. I'm not saying all cases, but there's some cases.
В някои случаи мисля, че е така. Макар че не във всички, но в някои е така.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhakti Gurudeva ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Amrita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. 20, text number 345. Prateya dhyayato Vishnum Tretayam yadato makai Dvapare pancharat yayam kalo tadhari kirtana. Krite in the Satya Yuga. Yat which Jayataha from meditation. Vishnu on Lord Vishnu. Tretayam in the Treta Yuga. Yajataha from worshipping. Makai by performing sacrifices. Dvapare in the age of Dvapara. Paricharyayam by worshipping the lotus feet of Krishna. Kalau in the age of Kali. Tat that same result can be achieved. Hari Kirtanat simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this verse says that whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, and whatever was obtained in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, which means deity worship. So that result can also be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Srila Prabhupada explains that in the present time, in this age, there are many false meditators. So it has become a fashion to try to practice this dhyana or meditation. But people now don't know the actual object of meditation. So that is explained in this verse. Dhyayato Vishnum, one has to meditate upon Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So then it follows with the other processes that were mentioned for the other ages. That there are some people who still endeavor to perform yagyas at this time. Some years ago, it was a long time ago,